Hey, this is GatsMeout492, and this is my weekly SPY technical analysis. If you like the charts I use, check below for a Webull referral link, and let's get started. As always, we're going to start with the news. We're on Yahoo Finance, which I use as a great website for news and finance and stock market. I don't see any particularly strong news catalysts. Coronavirus cases in the US are still on the rise, but apparently it's not being reported on that much. I think by and large, coronavirus for the meantime might be kind of priced in. That's not to say that the market won't still move down. It seems to still be finding its legs at a support level that makes sense for a world in which the coronavirus exists. But as far as major crashes, I'm not going to say that we've seen the bottom, but we've seen close to it at this point. So in other news, Abbott Laboratories launched a 5-minute virus test for the coronavirus, which can be used pretty much anywhere. And that was recently approved by the FDA. So they're going to be a lot faster about diagnosis, and we're going to probably get a lot more accurate numbers for how many coronavirus cases there are in the US. As to what effect that will have on the market, it's difficult to say right now. I think there's likely going to be more optimism now that the United States is taking the coronavirus more seriously. So if we look at the cases in the US, coronavirus is still clearly on the rise. Before I refreshed this, there were 50,000 cases. Now there's 139,904, so about 140,000. For every 2 people that recover, about 1 person dies. I'm not really sure these recovery numbers are that accurate. It's people recovered who have gone to the hospital. So for people who go to the hospital with coronavirus, the odds of recovering aren't really that great right now. So news section is short today. There really isn't that much news as of Sunday, 2:52 Pacific time. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If there's any significant news catalysts between now and market open, you're going to have to adjust your positions accordingly. So let's get started in the actual meat and bones technical analysis. So I went ahead and plotted all the supports. If you'd like to know how I plot supports or how to plot supports in general, I will put a little tile probably somewhere in the upper right corner of the video. So as it stands right now on the weekly, I did add an additional channel support. Now I said in my video I'm not a huge fan of channel supports, but as far as finding a direction for where the market's going, because the moves have been so significant and nobody really knows what direction the bear market is going to go and whether or not we've seen the bottom. Now, my intuition tells me that we have not seen the bottom, and I think the technical analysis, the indicators and signals slightly confirm this. So right now we are sitting right at the 257 resistance. We've gone over it a little bit, but this channel, this 10-year mean price support, we've basically hit that and bounced right off. Now, that's not to say that we won't go over. In fact, in this little bull run, I think we will eventually go over. As you can see, this little support channel we've been riding goes back almost 10 years. And we've tested it multiple times. This is the first time we've gone under it, which is a great indication that this is a very serious bear market. So let's take a look at the MACD and the KDJ, see what they're doing. The MACD is diverging a little bit less, but it's still diverging, meaning that this downtrend still has momentum on the weekly. The KDJ on the weekly is oversold. I wouldn't say decisively oversold. So there is a little bit of steam left in the downward pressure for sure. We'll take a little look at the Aroon real quick, just to see what's going on with that. The Aroon is still a sell signal. Actually, it just crossed over as a sell signal. But the Aroon legs a little bit more than the MACD, so take that for what it's worth. All right. And as always, we're just starting off in the weekly, we're going to the daily, and then we might do the 1 hour and 30 minutes. So when we look at the daily, it's actually a slightly different story. which marks a lot of indecision in the market. When the daily and the weekly don't agree, the market's definitely usually at a decision point. So on the daily, it looks like the MACD just signaled buy. The KDJ is pretty neutral right now, so if you're a daily trader, there's not really a super great entry here. And as I said, we bounced right off that channel of support that we've had for almost 10 years. Now, as you can see, there is another resistance around 270. After that, around 282. And then after that, the next resistance is 312. Underneath right now, we have a support at 248, 243, and 235. So we're definitely in an accumulation area right now. And what that means is that there tends to be fairly high volume in this area and a lot of support and resistance. So what happens here is people accumulate positions. And the market normally converges on a price and then has a breakout move later. Whether it breaks up or down is really difficult to say right now. So the 1 hour pretty much confirms what we've been thinking from the weekly and the daily. There's a lot of indecision in the market right now. As you can see, there's kind of this KDJ wave pattern, and I'm going to go over an indicator spotlight soon to kind of give you an idea of what that means. But basically, you have like a big wave up, smaller wave, and then an even smaller wave till the KDJ basically converges upon neutral, which means that there might be a breakout coming. The MACD is converging a little bit, still bearish, but converging. And all right, so we're going to go over to TradingView. We're using the VPVR again, which we've done in past videos. It pretty much just plots volume at particular price levels, which gives you a much better idea of where the strongest supports and resistances are. You can see that we're right around 256, which I plotted last week as a very strong resistance. And the market's kind of stopped and held here. I would expect some level of indecision here for at least a day or two. But if we get above 256, you can see volume tapers off here. So I imagine people would hold their positions through this. So if there's enough bias support, there really isn't another resistance until 274. So if you're looking for a slightly bullish position, which I am, and then I'm later going to turn that into a call credit spread, I will probably take that bullish position the second it gets over, I'd say 262, and then I will exit around, to be safe, 270. And then around 270, I will probably open my call credit spread and exit that around 256, somewhere around there. We'll see how long the market rallies for. It's really hard to tell at this point how long this bull trap is going to last. Typically, when I've seen things like this, these kind of big events in the market in the past, I expect about a 60% retracement, which puts us around probably 275 to 290 max. So for my bearish positions, I'm looking for entries above 275. But there's a good possibility we're not even done with the first downward movement yet. And this is just a flash in the pan upward bull trap real quick. So after about 273 to 279, we have really significant resistance around 290. So if we get a big swing upwards, which is possible next week, I would expect it to rebound off 290 at the max. I think in the long term, we're going to have to retest these supports around 236 before the market ever, but right now this is the primary channel we're trading between 256 and I'd say 274. Let me go ahead and mark that 274 actually. So that's it for this week's technical analysis on SPY. Overall, my sentiment is slightly bullish. However, call positions are getting increasingly risky as we approach more and more significant resistance. So what I'm probably going to do this week is a very small call position, probably no more than like 0.5% of my total portfolio value, and then look to exit that and roll over into puts around 275 if I can. I think my ideal entry for a put would be 275, maybe 280, as low as 270 and as high as 280. And thanks for watching. If you feel cool, give me a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel. If you like the charts I use, check out my Webull referral link down below. That's my broker, and that is the platform I use for the charts also. Really like them so far. We both get a free stock if you use my referral link, so that's super nice. All right, thanks for watching.